Hi there, my name is Charlotte Horton. This is the Afruika Bantu Saturday School. I got involved with the Saturday School because growing up I attended a Saturday school, Marcus Garvey Youth Brigade, which was a Saturday school run by the pt4. Outlook for the future, to inspire, to continue to support black youths in education, basically. My father done this before me, I'm doing it now. It's a legacy, something that, well, education is a legacy, something that I would hope would pass on to my children, and institutes like Saturday schools that support learning and black history continue.
So you are a product of the Black Saturday School system.
I am.
How did it how did it influence your life and your life choices?
In terms of life choices and the influence, I've always known where I've come from. I've always been proud of my heritage. In the school system, workplace, higher education, it's knowing where you come from is a tool to keep you steadfast, really, and to keep you on course. If you don't know where you came from, you're lost, and it's easy to get swallowed up, distracted in this life, really. Yeah.
So, do you teach at the school here?
I do. I teach class 1, which is it's kind of early years. So I'd say from kind of reception to roughly about year 2.
Okay.
Which is kind of, the foundations for, further education.
Beautiful. Well, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Oh, hi, my name is Lydia Von Weiler, one of the teachers of Afruika Bantu Saturday School located in Tulse Hill, South London. I've been part of the school since about 2002 or 2003. I taught for about 6 or 7 years as English, and then I took a hiatus, a break, and returned in 2014. So I've been here the second stint from 2014 to present. I got involved initially because I was invited to. I hadn't known anything about the school, but I came to make an unrelated inquiry, and someone told me about it and explained the advantages of having this particular facility for our black students in London. And I became very interested, and I thought this sort of forum for our children to meet on a Saturday outside of a formal school setting, Monday to Friday school setting, would be ideal for our children who are usually and sometimes marginalized in the community. So it is advantageous, as I said, to have this sort of facility for our children, because it focuses on activities that normal school in the communities, the mainstream schools, don't usually focus on and provide for our children, such as black history. We do a lot of black history, focusing on our ancestral links in Africa and other notable individuals in the black community and in the diaspora. But as I said before, I focus primarily on English. And I think it's beneficial for our students to have extra English lessons, because it adds further dimensions and links to what is done in the mainstream schools in a way in which it's not taught in mainstream schools, so we focus on the individual pupils. And in the wider perspective of Saturday schools, I wish there was more. There were more Saturday schools in London and elsewhere in the United Kingdom, because there is a need for it. But I believe that this is not advertised in a widespread manner. And I think having this interview and similar activities like this will promote the virtues of Saturday School for our black children.
And what's your outlook for black children in the UK or even Saturday schools? What is your outlook? What do you think is going to happen in the future?
Well, that is a very broad question. Our children do have a lot of skills. They do have a lot of hidden talents, which are not usually activated in activities in mainstream schools and elsewhere. So the prognosis for the future is that if we have more Saturday schools and more types of activities such as this in the future, it will help to bring out the hidden talents and it will help to provide our resource, which are our children, who are our future. It will bring out that in a very meaningful way in the future for everybody, not just for the black community, even though we would want that to be something that we could look at and embrace as our own. But when we do good things for our community, it helps the wider community as well, and it starts with our children.
Beautiful, thank you.
That's it.
My name is Brother Kayode. I teach at the Afruika Bantu Saturday School. I teach in African history, and I tend to not start from the necessary or the mainstream place of the transatlantic slave trade. I tend to go back in history at the start of Africa, the ancient empires that occurred before Africa and leading up to this point, and I tend to touch on a lot of hidden and untold history about our past, our people, our achievements, our greatness, and how much we actually influence society. You know, because the mainstream school doesn't really tell this. Like, it doesn't tell it on purpose. Okay, I believe that there's an agenda to keep down this spirit, the power of the African Caribbean child. Okay, so it's necessary and it's vital that we teach our children the untold and the hidden history, okay, that they're keeping from us on purpose, right? So I got started at this Afruika Bantu Saturday School, by my journey here actually started at Auntie Jean's cultural market, funnily enough, and Elder Minka, one of the founders of the school, he actually approached me and he asked me if I've got any children that would like to attend the school. Unfortunately I don't. And he goes, oh, you can come down and volunteer then, brother. And I said, okay, excellent, you know. So I came down one day, I came down the following week actually, and for about 6 months I was assisting the teachers, classes, helping the students out where I can, and after 6 months or so in January, I actually was asked to lead African history. At first I was scared, I was a little bit anxious, a little bit nervous, but I'm like, you know what, let me just jump into it. It's necessary to teach history in its true form, you know. So all lessons I teach, I look at multiple resources, multiple references, and ask multiple people as well, because you want to teach our children the right truth as well. The truth may be ugly, history may be ugly, but it's the truth, okay? So that's why I teach as well. The history, moving forward, not the history, sorry. Why it's necessary to have an African-centered school. It's necessary to have a school, an Afruika Bantu Saturday School, because mainstream schools, 5 days a week schools, Monday to Friday schools, not only do they indoctrinate our children with, our young people, with the wrong information, they actually indoctrinate them with the high information. And it's not just information they're on about as well, it's if a child or a student or a young person cannot see themselves in history or a part of not achieving anything great, then psychologically, that's kind of, and subliminally, that's telling them that their people or people that look like them never achieved anything. If it's only European or Caucasian people that they see in positions of greatness, you know, or achieving something, then that has an effect on them to not want to try and not achieve greatness, okay? So I believe that they're trying to destroy our children on multiple levels, which is why schools like this are fundamental. Because my aim for the Afruika Bantu Saturday School is for it to become a pillar within the African Caribbean community, where building to the level where it becomes an institution where our students can thrive just by being themselves. There's no discrimination, there's no judgment, there's no prejudging them, there's no segregating them. They come with their natural African Caribbean beauty, their culture, and that's what's needed. Because the culture makes up the individual to a certain degree. Okay, to a certain degree. So at Afruika Bantu Saturday School, it is an amazing place where our people, our young students can thrive. They get given a lot of one-on-one attention, and it's just an environment for them to feel comfortable, where they can talk to anyone with any issues they have outside of school, especially in the mainstream school as well. So moving forward, and the future I see for the Afruika Bantu Saturday School, even though it's been running for 20 plus years, I want to continue that right into the future. I want to go for another 100, 200 years, long after I'm gone. I've actually put together a website for the school that I'm actually working on. It's finished, but I've got to refine it a little bit. And that's me kind of leaving a legacy behind so that someone else can run the website. This is mainly the students, so then that website and the legacy of the school will continue as well. Okay, so in the future, I can see the school growing from strength to strength. We've been running for 20 plus years, and it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop at all. Okay, so thank you very much, and stay blessed.